everyone, welcome back to Codeverse TV. My name is Katy and I'm your host. True or false, a lightning bolt is 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. It's true. The surface of the sun has a temperature of 10,340 degrees Fahrenheit or 6,000 Kelvin, whereas a lightning bolt can reach the temperature of 53,540 degrees Fahrenheit or 30,000 Kelvin. Wow, that is 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. If this is your first time watching the show, welcome. It is great to meet you. During every episode, I teach you how to build an amazing video game using one of our special mission cards, which are now digital and you can access them through your Codeverse account. I also teach you about all of the special powers that our objects have, which are featured on our collectible trading cards, and I answer any coding related question that you have. But before we do any of that, I'm going to visit the Codeverse App Store and play a video game that was built by people just like you. Take me to my happy place. Alright, so we are inside the Codeverse App Store right now. There are dozens upon dozens of games and apps that you can play and share with your friends and family. Right now, I'm going to play one of these games that I have never seen before right in front of your eyes. So let's do it. Which one should I go for? How about, let's see, page 2. Oh, what's this? Code Art. Code Art by Elliot, who is 9 years old. Code Art. Create art using an arrow pointer and baseball eraser in this game. Tap labels to turn the brush on and off and choose between 2 ink colors. This game uses RGB color, position variables and booleans to draw. What will you create? Let's see, Elliot. Okay, so I click on the brush to turn it on. Okay, we have green selected. Let's see what happens if I click blue. Oh, cool. So then, oh nice, so I can drag this all around the screen. Looks like I'm creating a Codeverse logo here. And then it looks like, okay, I'll turn the brush off and then the eraser. So the eraser is the baseball. So I've turned the eraser on and let's see what happens. Oh, that's cool. Elliot, this is awesome. So you basically can create your own artwork and then erase the artwork with a baseball, which is super fun. This is great. Everyone should definitely check out Code Art by Elliot. And if you have a game of your own that you would like to submit to the App Store and you'd like for me to play it on Codeverse TV, then please tell your mum or your dad to email me at tv@codeverse.com. Alright, are you ready to code? Let's head on over to Mission Control where we will learn how to build a video game together. Greetings, Codelings! This is Mission Control, my favourite part of the show. When you become a Codeverse member, you get access to missions, which are guided coding activities that range in difficulty level from beginner, intermediate, advanced, expert and pro. Today I have picked a pro mission, which means it's going to be quite a challenging game for us to create. We're going to build a checkers board. Let's do it. Okay, so I'm logged into my Codeverse account right now. To access our missions digitally, all you need to do is click go on this banner up here that says start a new mission. This will take you directly to our library of missions that are grouped based on difficulty level. Checkers, the game that we're going to build today, is a pro mission, which means that you'll have to unlock level 5 missions in order to play it. To access level 5 missions, you must complete missions under the beginner, intermediate, advanced and expert sessions. Alright, let's start coding. Click on the 5 Codeverse logos over here, which are called Novas. This is where all of our pro missions live. Now select checkers. Alright, create a classic game of checkers and jump the other player's pieces to win. Learn how to use text variables and if statements to make the checkerboard and coloured pieces, and use a for statement to king your pieces at the other side. Can you jump all the pieces? Awesome. So once we've completed this pro mission, we will have learned all about conditionals, lists, loops, and colour. Exciting stuff. Let's begin. Okay, so you can see here that there's 8 steps to this mission. We have to import our classes, create the squares, set up our black squares, colour the squares, reach the checkpoint, which allows us to view our progress, add coloured pieces to our game, add the ability to move and king the pieces, and submit the game so that we can earn our skill points and get credit for building this pro game. Let's go. Step 1. We're going to import our classes. For checkers, we need a ball, a list, a star, and a rectangle. Importing these classes is the first step because we need to tell the computer all about the objects needed for this specific game. Great! Step 2. Create the squares. So we want to create a row of squares horizontally and vertically to create a checkers board. We're going to use a loop inside of another loop to do this. As a refresher, a loop is an instruction that repeats the code inside of it so that you only have to write it once. The code will repeat however many times you loop it for. Now, let's start by creating the first square. We'll define our x and y variables first. So let's say x equals 6 and y equals 20. Now, if we wanted to create just one square, we could type in var rectangle equals new rectangle xy, couldn't we? And that would position our rectangle on the top left of our game screen. But remember, we want to create a row of these squares vertically and horizontally, so that's where the loops come in. Type loop 8. This will be the number of times we want the squares to be added vertically from top to bottom on our game screen. More on that in a minute. Underneath loop 8, type loop 9. Now let's create our square using a var statement. Var rectangle equals new rectangle xy. We'll also change the rectangle size to 90, so it looks more like a square. Rectangle.setSize 90. And finally, x equals x plus 12.50. We'll add to x using addition so that each square is further right than the last. Cool, so by writing this code, we now have 9 squares lined up horizontally on our screen. Now we have to create the vertical row of squares. So we added in our loop up here, loop 8, and to create these squares, we'll type x equals 6, and then below that, y equals y plus 8.4. We'll add to y using addition so that each row of squares is lower than the last. Next, step 3. Set up the black squares. Create a list to store the black squares on the checkerboard and create a variable for the colour of the first square. The colour is stored as a text variable which will be used in the next step. Alright, so a list is an object that we can store other objects in. You can put objects into a list and take them out. So right here, under var y equals 20, let's create a list where we will store our black squares on the checkerboard. Var black squares equals new list. Var color equals black. This text variable right here, black, tells the computer the variable's value. We're going to use these variables later, but we're creating them now so that they can be used in the code that follows. Step 4, color the squares. We want to make it so that the squares alternate between black and white to create a cool checkerboard. So in order to make the colors alternate, we need to color every other square black and white. To do that, we're going to use if statements, which are called conditionals. They make something happen if something else happens. You'll see here that there's 3 if statements in this step. The first if statement sets the square to be white if the color of the variable is white. And then since skip is true, it will skip over the next if statement and go to the third if statement. The second if statement right here sets the color to be black if the color variable is black, and then resets the color variable to be white for the next square. The reason we use skip is because if we reset the color variable to be black in the first when statement, then the second when statement would also get triggered and the white squares would turn black. By using skip, we can skip over the second statement and not set the color variable to be black after the second if statement. Step 5. Yes, we've reached our checkpoint. Look at this awesome checkerboard we've created together. Now, let's create blue and red pieces to go on this board, which is step 6. Create another list to store the pieces in so we can use them later. Then use a for statement to put a coloured piece on each black square. Use an if statement to make half of the pieces red. Okay, great. So let's create a list. Var list equals new list. And now we'll use something called a for statement to put a coloured piece on each black square. For square in black squares. This for statement runs the code for every black square in the list. X equals square dot get position X. Y equals square dot get position Y. Okay, now let's make a blue piece if the black square is on the top half of the board. We'll use an if statement to do this. Type in if Y is less than 40, meaning the top half of the board, var ball equals new ball XY, list dot add to back ball. Now for the red pieces. We'll want to make a red piece if the black square is on the bottom half on the board. Let's create another if statement to do this. If Y is greater than 60, the bottom half of the board, var ball equals new ball XY. Ball dot set body color 100 00, which will set the pieces to red. List dot add to back ball. Step 7, we're almost there. Yay! Add the ability to move and king the pieces. Great. Create a star that kings the pieces if they are dragged to it. Then use a for statement to make each piece draggable so players can move the pieces. Amazing. We'll create the star using a var statement. Var star equals new star 10 8. And now we'll create our for statement to make our pieces draggable. For ball in list, ball dot set draggable, and we'll set it to true. When ball dot collides with star, ball dot set size 70. Mission complete! You just created an incredible checkers board and successfully built a pro mission. Woohoo! Submit your game, share it with your friends and family, grab those skill points. You are a coding rock star. Okay, now we're going to head on over to the toolbox where we will learn all about the special powers that our objects have. Let's go! It's toolbox time. This is the part of the show where I tell you all about the special powers that our objects have. These special powers can be found on the back of our collectible trading cards. How about we go ahead and pick one at random? A hamburger! Yay! Who doesn't love a good hamburger? I like mine with cheese, ketchup, pickles and onions. Yum yum. Okay, enough rambling. Let's talk about the hamburger's superpowers. Okay, so I've created a new project and the first thing I'm gonna do is go to my toolbox and type in hamburger. When I've found it, I will drag that hamburger over to the screen and I will change its size to 300. Hamburger.setSize and in the parentheses type 300. The best part about the toolbox is that when you drag an object onto the screen, it imports the class and creates the object for you using a var statement. So the hamburger has quite a few special powers. We can change the bun colour and the meat colour, which is pretty interesting. We can also remove the items on the hamburger, such as the lettuce, the tomato and the cheese. Let's go ahead and do that right now. Hamburger.setBunColor 00100. We'll make it bright blue. Now let's change the meat colour. How about we make it bright red? Hamburger.setMeatColor 100 00. Now, to remove the lettuce, the tomato and the cheese, we will use our handy dandy hide method. Hamburger.hide lettuce. Hamburger.hide tomato. Hamburger.hide cheese. Wow, what an odd-looking hamburger. I would never eat that. But at least we've learned all about the special powers that our hamburger object has. Okay, we're done here. Let's head on over to the mailroom where I will answer any coding related question that you have. This is the mailroom and today's question is from Brittany. Brittany asks, how do I use the link to method to link two objects together? That's a brilliant question, Brittany, and I'm happy to show you. Here's a game that I created earlier, featuring a sun, a pair of sunglasses, and the ocean. So let's just say I wanted to create a video game where I tap on the sun, and the sun and the sunglasses move at the same time down the screen towards the ocean. This is where our link to method comes in handy. So right here below this line of code, type in sunglasses.link2 and inside the parentheses type sun. Great! So right now the sunglasses are set to set fixed true, which means that when we hit run and we would tap our sun, the sunglasses would stay put. They wouldn't move down with the sun. Let's change this. Type in sunglasses.setFixed false. And we'll also go ahead and set the sunglasses physics to false, so that when the sunglasses move at the same time as the sun down the screen, when it reaches the water, they don't stop, they just keep going. Sunglasses.setPhysics false. And finally, when sun.tapped, sun.move down. Now hit run and tap the sun. You'll see that the sun and the sunglasses are linked together, they move down the screen together, and they drop off the screen. So there you go, Brittany. That's how you use the link to method to link two objects together. It was a great question. And if you have questions of your own, please tell your mum and dad to email me at tv@codeverse.com. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. Bye.